Reacting to the news this morning that the Detroit Red Wings are bringing in Patrick Kane. Patrick frickin' Kane is a Detroit Red Wing. Huh? Look, this has been rumored for a while, so I guess I shouldn't act like it's a surprise. It's just weird to say. It's weird to wrap your head around. It's weird to think about. And I all he's got to do is come in and produce, and people will love him.
Yeah, that's all.
Yep. And 35 years old.
Just turned 35.
Shaved hip surgery thingy that he had.
Thingy.
Doesn't sound ideal in terms of what we can't expect is for him to be what he was, right? That doesn't mean he can't help this team, though.
No, I think he can definitely. Well, again, everything hinges on, is he healthy? Yeah. Which I assume I'm going to have to assume that he is, because they signed him. So let's just go on that assumption. I'm no longer going to play the game. Well, if this, no. Let's say he's healthy, because we have to.
Sure.
Yeah, he's got a lot to give. Okay, not completely healthy last year. 57 points in 73 games. The prior year was 92 points in 78 games at the age of 33. You know, this guy's been a point a game player and plus that throughout his career. He's had a couple of outstanding seasons of 100-point seasons, but he's just been steady. He's always been steady. And it was, Taves and Kane for years. Those were the guys. And then DeBrincat comes up, and he and DeBrincat have this great chemistry. And he's one of these just great players. He's always been a playmaker. And in addition to being a goal scorer, I'm expecting big things from him. And I think this is going to help out the Red Wings tremendously when you add another offensive-minded player with this kind of pedigree. Now, I'm not expecting the Patrick Kane from, 2015-16 when he had 106 points. I'm not expecting that. But I would expect a guy that's going to be, 60, 70 points per season?
We're at a point, too, where it feels like a full-on shift of focus. When the beginning of the Yzerman era was pipeline, draft, talent, supply, draft, pipeline. Like, it was just all about drafting, and it didn't feel like we were going to see teams that were going to be competitive in the men's league. But we were hoping that help was on the way. Help hasn't really, I would say, arrived yet, but he has shifted gears and now is loading up on veterans. And, quite frankly, it's been, call it what it is. It's a good season so far. It's a good season.
Yeah, it is. Right now the team is in the playoffs. If it ends today, I checked yesterday. Yesterday they were tied for second in the division. It is. It's a hockey team that's playing better hockey now. Clearly, they're on a 3-game win streak. They did get they salvaged a tie at least in one of the 2 games overseas. But I had big thoughts about this team going into the season.
You were higher on them than I was. Here's some of the feedback via Twitter. This from AJ. Like scratching a lottery ticket. Low risk, high reward. I'm all for it. But people should not expect points per game Patrick Kane. As long as he can contribute, I'll take it. It can also show some of the younger forwards how to play the game. Tom says, I hate the cabbie puncher. I also hated Pat Verbeek and Chelios until they put on the winged wheel. I don't know how to cheer this man. I guess I'll learn. Jason Smith, not sure I understand the signing unless the Wings believe they are cup contenders this year. This takes opportunities from younger players and potentially Grand Rapids call-ups. Also have a learned hatred of Kane as a bad person and a Blackhawk, so I'm torn all the way.
I understand being torn apart about where he was and what he was, but as far as being a roadblock for players in Grand Rapids, he's not blocking anybody. Nobody in Grand Rapids is lighting up the world. All right, I looked at her stats yesterday. It's the same same old suspects. It's Taro Hirose, who seems like he's a career. Griffin gets an opportunity to play the Wings. He's okay, but he's no longer this prospect type player. So Marco Kasper isn't doing anything down there. So don't worry about that. And Nate Danielson is nowhere near ready, I guess. At least not this year. He's not gonna come to the Red Wings. He's not playing at Grand Rapids. He's playing junior hockey or whatever. So I'm not worried about him blocking anybody's way.
Well, the other thing that I always like, the whole cabbie puncher and any history anybody has, wasn't he like 20 years old when he did that? I like to think that people can grow up. I like to think that my kids will grow up and make better decisions. You have given up on.
Oh, come on.
248-539-9797.